go ahead and get started. Looks like we have most everyone here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I want to tell you that our Hora Feliz for today is being streamed live on Facebook. So if you have any family members, friends that want to watch this on Facebook, we are streaming live. Welcome to our fourth Hora Feliz of the year. We've been having so much fun with this. And today we have Rely Workforce with us. One of the things that I've been hearing as I talk to different members and different partners is that they've been having a hard time hiring people, so we decided to invite Rely Workforce and have them talk a little bit about their strategy on preparing people to be hired by different corporations. So they'll be speaking to us in a few minutes. I do want to tell you that the word for our Hora Feliz today is job or jobs. So when you hear the word jobs, please take a sip of your drink. So you just heard it. It's Hora Feliz. And a couple of other things. We are going to do our breakout sessions today. So you'll get an opportunity to network with everyone here. And I want to personally invite you today to our Economic Outlook event. So I know I jumped ahead, Debbie, but you can leave this up. Our Economic Outlook event is scheduled for April 22nd from 5:30 to 7:30 this month. And I think that it's super important that all of our members, non-members, our Latino community are on this event. And I'll tell you why. We have secured our keynote speaker. His name is Dr. Hayes Bautista. He's a college professor at UCLA in California. And for the last 4 years, he's been conducting the Latino GDP study. And you will be surprised at the statistics that you will learn that are coming out of this study. As a matter of fact, he is predicting that the Latinx community will help us get through this downturn with COVID, that we will be leading the way after post-COVID. So I invite you and your family and friends to please join us. You can go onto our website and you can register there. It's completely free for everyone. But I think that it's really important that we're all there. After our networking event today, guys, we're going to have a raffle. Rely Workforce has provided us with a staycation at the Embassy Suites here in Charlotte, completely paid for, hotel. I think even breakfast is included. I'm not sure. Well, it's for a weekend getaway. We know that all of us can use a little getaway right now, so we'll be raffling that off at the end. So make sure that you stay till the end. All right, and you can go to the next slide, Debbie. And here is the information for our Economic Outlook event. Again, I'm stressing it so much that we're all on this call and that we invite as many people as we can, because I guarantee you that you're going to be walking out of that meeting feeling empowered and knowing that we are changing the narrative for our Latinx community, that we are big contributors to this economy. If we were, one of the statistics says that if we were our own country, we would be the 8th most powerful country in the world in terms of GDP. That would be higher than Brazil, higher than South Korea, and even higher than Italy. So very powerful information that Dr. Hayes Bautista will share with us. And we're also going to have Nancy Rosado talking to us about supply diversity with Wells Fargo, and Sarah talking to us about the local economy here in North Carolina. So it's going to be a great event, and I hope to see everyone there. Also this month, on April 27th, we're going to have a Spanish seminar that is focused on loans for small businesses. If you are still in need of a loan, or you know someone that's still in need of a loan, we are hearing that there's a lot of money that is coming from the state in terms of loans with very, very little interest. And Rocio Gonzalez will be here sharing that information with us. So these loans can be used to expand your business. Those loans can be used to pay payroll. There's a lot of things that you can use these loans for with very low interest. And the requirements are very, very minimal. So if you know anyone that can benefit from this seminar, it will be hosted on April 27th. And now I want to introduce our Membership and Services Manager, Giovanni Flores. He's been with us for 2 months now, and he has some stuff to share with you guys. See you guys later.
Hello, everyone. I'm Giovanni. I've had the pleasure to meet some of you already. If you haven't, please feel free to reach out to me. As Grace said, I'm the Membership Services Manager. So anything that pertains to If you're a new member or you want to renew your membership, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put all of my information in the chat box. We also have a question for all of our members today. And the question is, if you were given any grant money for your business, what possibilities could you create with that money? It could be, anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000. Just think, what could I do with that money? And please share in the chat box. All right. If you have any other questions, please feel free. And that's it. Thank you.
Now, guys, I want to introduce you to Rely Workforce Group. Douglas Alvarenga is the CEO here, and I want to share something with you. I got a text from him last minute. He's in the ER room because he had a allergic reaction to the second shot of COVID, the vaccine. So he is unable to be with us today, but he is watching us live on Facebook. But I think he has somebody else here. Is Beth or Jackie here?
Hi, everyone. Yes, both me and Beth are on, as well as the rest of our team is on as well. So the majority of the call will be, our portion will be between myself and Beth that will be talking.
Okay, well, take it away, Jackie. We want to hear everything that you have to share. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are Rely Workforce Group. If you go to the next slide, Debbie. A little bit about us is Doug started the company in 2016. He started it with the vision of connecting the right employee with the right career. He had worked for various different staffing agencies before he decided to start his own. The main purpose was we wanted to bring the human element back into staffing because a lot of companies are just looking for placing people and for the billable piece of it. So our main goal was to connect the right employee with the right employer to be able to allow everyone to find a career, not just a job. So our main goal is to recruit qualified people, screen them for each individual opportunity. Our mission is to build rapport with each individual employee. And then in turn, they would stay longer with the company versus us just sending a person to work for a day. We are based primarily in Charlotte, and we had our office for 3 years. And this year we opened up our Concord location. So we're right around the Concord, Kannapolis area. And regardless of where we are, whether it's at home or in Charlotte or in Concord, we're able to fill for positions all around the Charlotte area and the Concord, Kannapolis and surrounding cities as well. I myself have been with the company since 2017, and most of us have been in the company for right around that time. Our combined experience is 55 plus years with myself, Doug, Beth that recently joined us, and as well as other team members of our team. So that's a little bit about us. If you want to, all of our team lives by our core values, which are reliability, transparency, intentionality, measurability, simplicity, and development. So our main goal is to keep things simple, always continue learning, being transparent as far as the workforce or employees or anything around current economic state, being a reliable source for employers to get information and feedback from us, and always being intentional with whatever we're discussing. Why partner with Rely Workforce? As I said, our main goal is to bring the human element back into the workforce, being able to provide meaningful employment opportunities to the people that work for us, the people that we're placing, so that they can have a sustainable employment and actually grow with the company. We've been able to place people from very entry-level positions that have grown with the companies all the way into supervisor positions from where they started at as just a temporary worker, and we're given those opportunities. So we try to partner with companies that are able to supply that sustainable workforce for them. You can go to the next slide, Debbie. The way that we use, the way that we provide the recruiting piece of it is we use a 4-touch system. So we source for candidates using different job boards, hiring events. We just had our first hiring event of this year. That was a drive-through on Saturday. We're looking at doing them every couple of weeks. So we'll post them on Facebook, social media, and we can also let you guys know when we're having those hiring events. After we source via the different job boards or hiring events, we do interviews with those candidates before we select where they can go. And then follow any background screening, interviews, or requirements for each client. So whether that's you want to look at resumes or you just need somebody to go to work, then we would do that. After the interview phase is where we vet them. So we follow the background screening, drug testing requirements for each client. And then after that is when we match them with a specific company to go to work for based on their skill sets and what they're looking for as far as placements. And then I'll pass this part of the current employment in the economic climate that we're currently in through the COVID time to Beth.
Thanks, Jackie. So I think all of us that are hiring, those of you that are looking for employees with skills, not with skills, I think we all would say that it's a little bit harder now than it's ever been to find that employee. Finding good employees quickly just isn't what it's all about right now. So the hiring process that Jackie went through is something that we adhere to every day. And we have gotten so creative with going to where the employees are. I don't know if you saw us on the news last week, but we wanted to talk to the news and tell them the flip side of the stimulus checks, the flip side of the extended unemployment benefits. It's tax season. People are receiving their money. And frankly, the last couple months have been pretty tough. And they had a speaker an economist from Duke on the piece with us. And we talked a little bit about how it's almost like what goes up's got to come down. So the economy is definitely there's going to be some impacts to us all. We're going to see some increases with our everyday expenses. And because most of you are probably, and we've got an open dialogue coming up after this slide, but what we know is that the economy is strong. There are jobs out there. The problem is there aren't as many available, qualified, dedicated employees available to us right now. We are able to fill our positions. We've got a pretty good size recruiting team. We have a good number of partners that have up to 120 offices in the United States. So when you call us, our key focus is in the Charlotte and Kannapolis area, but we are able to partner with companies outside of those areas, and we can fill. If you have sister companies in other cities or states, we'd love to talk to you about that. But the reality is it takes a little bit longer to fill those current positions. So let's go to the next slide. And we wanted to have some open dialogue with you. This is a slide that actually talks to some of the companies that we support today. These are large international companies, healthcare. Some of them are in the recreation area, like Carowinds, the food and beverage industry, Tamer Pharmaceuticals, Spencer's Gifts. We work with them year round. These are just a few of the large companies that we work with. We work with small companies as well, but we'll be asking you for some information about your companies as we close out our conversation with you. But let's go to the next slide. And this is where we wanted it to be kind of interactive with you. So first of all, based on the information that Jackie and I have shared with you tonight, we would love to field some of your questions and hear what's going on with you out in your workplaces. Are you experiencing any of the things that I touched on? Yeah?
Hey, Beth, I had a quick question. Are you guys seeing the job market rebound as kids get back into the regular routine of school? And the reason why I asked that, I do remember talking to some folks, in that middle range of work, right? That they couldn't necessarily leave the kids at home,
right,
go take their full-time job. So are you guys seeing more people come back into the workforce as schools are opening back up?
You know what? There's a mix. And I think our recruiters could probably speak to this a little bit more intimately than I can, but I'll tell you that definitely, you can, that's been a big impact for the parents. And there are a lot of companies. Duke is still remote as one of our larger employers in the area. We can always be a source of data and be sort of the pulse rate for you with what's going on in the area. If you just kind of want to know something about the state of employment in the marketplaces, we'd love for you to call us. But that's been a tough situation for working families. And we've seen that on a variety of levels, where some companies are working with people to let them work remotely. Other folks have had to resign from their positions. Yes, people are coming back to the workplace. There really isn't a norm right now, if that answers your question. But I think more than ever, all of you are employers. I encourage you, and we also can have dialogue with you about this. I encourage you to be flexible, meet the workforce where they are, and be realistic. And if you need wage data surveys, we can do those for you. We have helped one of our larger companies that we partnered with do a salary increase, and it was necessary for them to do that to compete with the workforce. Now what they're competing with is the fact that they had a reputation for being a low-paying employer. And now what we're charged with is helping them right-size that reputation. So being nimble, being ahead of the game, this is where it's impacting the economy, because it's almost become a bidding war where you're going to lose employees for not only the pay, but for the flexible work environment. You read those things, you stay current with those things, and most everything that you can read on LinkedIn or in any organization you're a part of, it's very real. Really investing in those employee engagement programs will help you retain your workforce, which will then help you do whatever kind of business you're involved with. But we'd love to strategize with you on that level and be your employment partner, not just a staffing company. That's a great question. Who else has a question?
Beth, this isn't a question, but we here at the Chamber are getting a lot of requests for Spanish-speaking individuals or individuals that, have that dual language or diversity. Are you seeing a lot more of that as well? Is this a good time for the Latinx community to jump into new roles?
It's excellent time. We actually have an opening. I know, Jackie, I see you smiling. We have an opening with one of our large customers, and we don't have to have a bilingual employee, but it sure does help, because the majority of our employees on one particular shift, they're Spanish speaking, and it creates a barrier that keeps us from providing services sometimes at the level we'd like to. So yes, now is if you are bilingual or folks that are bilingual, please encourage them to call Rely Workforce Group, and we would be happy to help them either step up their employment opportunities or at least give them an idea of what's out there and what they can expect with salary ranges and things like that. That's a great piece of insight there. Anybody else experiencing any challenges or just some questions that you're wondering that we might be able to solidify for you?
Yeah, this is Shelley.
Hi, Shelley.
One thing I've noticed, I actually went back into recruiting a week and a half ago. I took a break for a year and a half. So I'm back at XPO Logistics, and I've noticed a lot of people seem to be ready to go back in the office. I was afraid, as I've been speaking with people, oh no, we're transitioning back in the office. But a lot of people, I think, now that they're getting their vaccinations, they seem to be ready to go back. They're like, yeah, I'm actually tired of being at home. Me personally, I'm kind of ready for the balance, because, I don't look forward to driving to Ballantyne, every day, but, I still wouldn't mind, a couple days a week, just getting back to seeing people again.
That's that flexibility piece.
But
You're
yeah, I was
spot
surprised
on.
by that.
Yeah, you
some
are
people
spot
ready
on
to get
about
back to
that.
in the office.
Oh, I'm getting some feedback, Shelley, but you're spot on about that. There are some people who, though, on the flip side, and companies who've also found cost savings by keeping their teams remote because they were able to improve the productivity and the output. So then they're saving in some other areas where they've got that workforce that's remote. Some companies are being flexible and allowing their employees to work part of the week at home and part of the week in the office. We are seeing more and more of that. That would help you, by the way, be an employer of choice if you had that flexibility to offer the workforce that you're looking for, or even your current workforce. Any other comments, insights? Any other challenges?
No, Beth, I had just a follow up with what we were talking about before. You had mentioned people working remotely and things like that. And I guess this is just a question or a general question. During the pandemic, we saw alarming numbers. I think it was 84% of Hispanic Latinos across the United States worked at a job that was not remote friendly or you couldn't work from home. So what can we do to help this particular segment of the population better their prospects in the workforce so that there might be opportunities for that to grow and we can grow some of those numbers?
Where they have the choice to work remotely more than they do today?
Yeah, well, I think it's 84% or 86% work in service, construction. Yeah. So they worked in a particular job where you weren't allowed, where there's no working from home.
Right.
So how do we work on turning some of that talent into those jobs where you can work from home?
You know, that is something that there's a lot of dialogue we could have around that. And I don't know whether we do table talks or anything like that with the chamber, but you know, where it really boils down to is creating opportunities for people to improve their skill sets. And I think I've been on economic workforce committees before in the past, and it almost falls in that bucket around the economy and how much we support the Latinos, as a matter of fact. And so I think one of the things I would recommend, and I don't know whether there is room for another committee at the chamber, but an economic workforce committee would be very impactful. And I think we could get some traction around that with some strategy. Just talking about it leaves it on the table, but when you put a strategy to some of those challenges, then and you put some timelines to it, that's when I've seen things happen. So high five. We'll get on a committee together. Patrick, and you want to get on there too, or do you have a question?
I had question/comment. Okay. With regards to you know, the workforce, and obviously like the prior commentary was made about maybe a couple days coming into the office type of thing. And I know we all need human interaction. I think a lot of us have been craving that. Yes. But what study has been done, or what has been looked at? Because one of my initial comments when COVID broke is now everybody's working from home, or a good majority of now working from home because of, you know, trying to social distance. What has the productivity level been for employers by having their employees not have to commute, dress up, and still be able to work from home and take care of their family needs? And what kind of a quality of life has actually been improved? So I'm trying to look at it from a positive standpoint of, if working from home at this point 50% of the time has increased productivity, and obviously to the benefit to the company is a lower cost in the sense that maybe they don't need as much commercial space for offices, right, and so forth. So what kind of study has been done regarding that? And because obviously I think that is a dynamic that's probably going to change across the country, across the world.
Yeah, you've almost answered your question with what you just said. And I can't quote the study that I've read, but what I can tell you is that because what studies have proven is that employees get to their desks or their workspace earlier. They like the relaxed dress code, or at least from the, that sounds crazy, but the waist down, so they can still be professional. You know what I mean? They can still be professional, from the waist up, but they can wear jeans from the waist down. Yep, there you go. And or flip flops, better yet. But anyway, I think that there have been studies that prove that, but I think we get stuck in the way it's always been many times. Douglas has got to look at Douglas. Well, let's let Douglas talk.
Well, to add, and forgive me if there's any feedback or beeping in the background. I'm trying to do what I can here from very limited spacing. But to add to that, there are a lot of studies that have also come out that have shown that employees are overworked from home. And even though they are showing more productivity, but the stress levels and burnout rate is even higher at that point, because being able to have to juggle, kids at home, being able to juggle, your dogs and all the other, things that distract you through the day. There's employees that are logging hours, way into the night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight, et cetera, et cetera. And so, it sounds fantastic to be able to work from home, live your dream, do what you have to do. The reality is, we still have to, be able to meet our client demands, our supplier, demands, and all of that. So I'd love to share some of those reports that have been published by the American Staffing Association, staffing industry experts, et cetera, on that as well. So we're even taking steps to hiring remote recruiters, and these are recruiters that have now gotten accustomed to working 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. When we started in staffing ages ago, that was kind of our MO. We wouldn't leave the office until the positions were filled. Recruiting today is kind of seen as a strict 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 6. So it's, again, a lot of dialogue behind that, but for sure, there is evidence of higher productivity, lower overhead costs, but at the same time, our mission is to bring that human element back into the workforce, not to burn out and cause additional stresses to the workforce. So it's a fine balance, and it comes down to listening to the candidates, to the employees, and to the workforce on what they're wanting, and match them with the right employers that can meet those demands as well.
And too, Douglas, those are some great points. I think the other thing is it can be harder on leadership, because your skill set of leading a team remotely and your ability to drive accountability so that they don't get to burn out, it's just a whole new world. It really is. And there are some industries that aren't meant to be. We couldn't go in our industry completely remote because we work with people and we have to see work sites and things like that. That's some good dialogue. If there isn't anything else, we're always available and happy to talk with you about your individual staffing needs. We believe in partnerships, not just having clients and customers. We like to get to know what's important to you, what's working in your workplace, what you believe needs improvement, where you'd like to take your company short and long term, and what your staffing goals are. And so that's where that's really our sweet spot, where we build partnerships, and we retain our customers because of that. We grow with our partners, and we want to get to know you. So we appreciate this opportunity more than you know, just to tell you a little bit about our world, and we would love to get to know you better. So please, our contact information is there on this slide, and please reach out to us. We'll schedule a one-on-one meeting with you. We'll find out what's important to you. We'll build trust between our companies, and we'll see what we can do together to help you do business better.
Yeah, thank you. And again, Patrick, great question. Thanks for allowing us that dialogue. And, one of the things that, even if you just want to call and have a question about, employment trends, or, hey, is what I'm offering competitive, we could do a whole market analysis report. We were working with a member of the LACC. We're still currently working with a member where the structure that they believed on hiring ended up changing after we did initial searches, worked together a little bit more on a couple of other projects, and the position that they originally looked to hire for is not the position that they thought was needed, but now has moved on to a whole different vertical that we see may find them a lot of success. But yeah, definitely reach out to us. Beth is a genius in the industry. She's been in the industry for a while. Jackie is great at what she does. We're all a bilingual office as much as, we speak in English. Todos ahí, casi todos en la oficina hablan español. Beth entiende las palabras, and but she can Google everything you have to say.
Yeah. You talk about dedicated. Douglas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you, Douglas. For being a trooper and being here. Beth, thank you for your wisdom. And Jackie, thank you for introducing us to Rely Workforce. And what I want to say is that both Debbie, our events and programs manager, and Giovanni, our membership services manager, came from Rely Workforce. And so I can vouch that we have two really great people. We have an amazing team. They went through all the testing. Are you bilingual? Or, all the testing that they do. So we're very, very grateful for our team here at the Latin Chamber. And just to piggyback off of what you were talking about earlier about maybe the Chamber can create a committee around, this area, this topic. I do want to share with you guys that we have just completed our strategic plans for the rest of the year and for the next 3 to 5 years. We'll be ready to share that with all of our members very soon, and we'll have an event around that. But one of the things that we are creating is an entrepreneurial hub, and I think that you don't have to be an entrepreneur who's going to form a business, but it could be someone who just simply wants to grow into, maybe they've had this position forever and they're really ready to scale and have a bigger role in another company. So that first part, we're calling it plantar semillas, right? We're planting seeds. That's going to be one of the curriculum that we're going to walk our members through, cohorts through. And then we're going to have a second phase, which is echar raíces, which means, build some roots. And then the third phase, which is going to be echar ramas, which is build branches. So no matter where our members are, we're going to meet them there, and we're going to walk them through these cohorts that we're building here at the Chamber. We hope to have a pilot program by the fall, and then we hope to in 2022 to really scale that out and to be able to build upon that, so that we can funnel people through those classes. The more people we funnel for those classes, the more people that are growing with us. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys. I hope that this was inform. There's a lot of information here, that it was educational, and that we encourage people to get back to their jobs. I haven't seen anybody follow the rules here. Get back to their jobs. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to hand it off to Debbie, and I think we're going to do some networking, and then finally our raffle at the end. So I'm curious to see who's going to get a staycation. Maybe we can go hang out at the pool with you at the Embassy Suites. Take it away, Debbie.
Thank you. I vow that whoever wins takes me with them. Well, thank you so much, Rely, for being here with us today. I hope everybody got to learn, a little bit more about what they do and in the industry as well. I always get to do the fun part and whisk you away into networking land. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to have 2 breakout sessions of 12 minutes each. I have paired you up in some rooms. So I'm going to go ahead and send you there. Don't worry, I'll send you reminders while you're in there for time updates. And I will bring you back and then send you again, and then we'll do the raffle. So I'll see you soon.